Now I think before I really get started, I have to say I realize I'm neither Elijah nor Jesus. But I want to be like both of them. Jesus especially. And I was kind of thinking, you know, those were kind of the goodbye stories in the Bible. But then I got to thinking, but that's not all I'd like to say. And this question came up, and in a way, maybe it seems like a dumb question. I don't know if you think it is or not. The question is, do you want to be loved? Now, on the first, look at that, most people say, well, of course we want to be loved. Of course we do. And I think there's that part in all of us that would, automatically kind of stand up and say, yeah, me, I want to be loved. But the more I got to thinking about that, the more I kind of wondered if it was really always true. Because you see, if we really want to be loved, then part of what that might mean is that the people who love us might tell us the truth. Uh-oh. And if they're telling us the truth, we might have to let go of the illusions that we have wrapped ourselves in that make us comfortable. Now, I do know for a fact that there are some math teachers in the room. And I got to thinking about this. What would you do if you were teaching your math class and all of a sudden you got a paper back from one of your kids and what they had done is that wherever the equation was there, they marked a line through that and they put 4 plus 4 equals 8. And you went to them and you said, what are you doing? And they said, well, I know the answer to that one. But that wasn't the question. And you see, the church has always been tempted to put in 4 plus 4 equals 8. Even if that wasn't the question that we needed to be wrestling with. You see, the truth is hard. But the truth is the only way to get to the real answer. Amen? Amen. That if we just kind of want to, swap in our variables, just so we can make the equation come out to say what we want it to say. You can do that. We do that all the time. As human beings, we want to say, yes, God, I know you said this, but I won't do that. Or, yeah, I know you said to go that far, but I can't go that far. I'm just going to go this far. Or, yes, Lord, I know, but let me tell you, I had several good reasons for doing it my way. That book one time says, yes, Lord, I have sinned, but I have several excellent excuses. Do you want to be loved? If you really mean that, then it might mean that the people who love you might need to get close to you. Do you think, does everybody else here think that we are in a crisis of intimacy in this world? That everybody is afraid to let anybody get close to them. And even when they do, there is this spirit of fear and cynicism that always wants to go to the worst possible thing. I got to thinking the other day, why is it that when one person, a good friend comes up and they pat you on the back, how that can feel so good, so positive, so affirming. And yet if it's somebody else, maybe somebody you don't know, or maybe somebody who you have had some struggle with, comes up and they do the same thing, that immediately you're trying to get a mirror so you can look back there to see if there's a knife. When it may have been exactly the same thing. And the only difference is the fear that is in here and in here. You get it? Am I telling the truth? Do you want to be loved? You know, if you really want to be loved, that means you got to make a little room in your life for people. And I'm guilty of this too. Sometimes I get caught up and I like to play games and I like to watch movies, and that's all fun. But it can suck your time away. And the next thing you know, the people that you really care about, and you do, you know, but you maybe haven't been showing it, well, they're gone. Right? Because you know how much time we can count on? Right now. That's it. The meteor may be coming this direction even as I speak. So I'm hoping you're all ready. Because while the world might think that ends our story, we all know different. Amen. But do you want to be loved? Do you want to be loved by a God who loves you just how you are, but loves you too much to let you stay that way? Do you understand what I'm saying? That the desire to continue to strive for excellence in our faith and in our service and in our love is not to say that what we were was a bunch of manure. Can I say that in the church? I guess I just did. You know, and sometimes when somebody says, well, can it be better? Well, yes. And we need to stop being so, defensive about that stuff. Right? And just say, all right, yes, I want to do it. Is there anybody here who wants to do it better? Raise your hand. All right then. Let's do it better. Let's continue to strive in our minds and hearts to not just be content with the victories of the past, because they're gone and they'll only feed you for so long, right? But to continue to know that God has more to do. And more for us to do. And maybe you're kind of wrestling with where God's going to send you. And I can sympathize with that. But I want to tell you that in the midst of all, God's still good. In one of the hardest times in my life, when, the lights had definitely all been dimmed. You know what I'm talking about? Anybody had any darkness in your life? God chose to talk to my DSs and say, call up Steve and tell him we're sending him somewhere that's dangerous.